Hi Tubies, here's Alexandra and welcome to another video. Well, tomorrow is my birthday and so I thought, well, I have a wish list to make. What is this wish list? Well, those are units that I think I would like to have in every single army of Warhammer 40k. So each army, I pick a unit that I would like this army to have. So, let's jump right into it. So, those are the orders from the GW website, from the store. So, let's go from top to bottom. Starting with the Imperium, with the Adeptus Sororitas, I thought it would be a cool idea to have a character model that is actually a Psyker. Not actually normally a Psyker, like for example a Space Marine Librarian. No, I would like to have the Psyker to be a little more subtle, like prayers. So, for example, you have Sororitas so devout to the Emperor that she can pray, and those prays will definitely manifest. Actually, as a psychic power, but something along the line of praying to protect the innocence, and so a unit might get a invulnerable save, or guide my hand, and so you get rerolls on another unit or something like that. So a beneficial psyker instead of attacking psykers. So, next up is the Adeptus Custodes. Actually, I have nothing really thought about what Custodes could have. I looked through the stuff they had, and the only thing that is really missing for this army is the army. And so for Custodes, you have the Terminators, you have the infantry, and everything is just, elite soldier who wants to smash you in the face. And they don't actually have anything really to shoot with. Yes, all their weapons have inbuilt bolters, but that's small arms fire. I want something with actual shooting power. I want a unit dedicated to shooting, like, for example, a Space Marine Hellblaster, or a Space Marine whatever that can actually shoot. Except, Custodes don't have these, so pick your poison. Next up, for Adeptus Mechanicus, I would like to see the in-between between an Imperial Knight and maybe a Dreadnought or something like that. So in between a battle mech, I would call it here. Something in between, a mechanical battle suit that is half the size of an Imperial Knight, but could also pick a nice fight, maybe something with close combat weapons, some weird Adeptus Mechanicus weaponry with Tesla weapons or something like that. That would be really cool. Next up, Astra Militarum. I flipped through the units, and they have almost anything. They have infantry, they have heavy infantry with Ogrins, they have tanks, they have walkers with the sentinels, they have artillery, anything that you could imagine for a military force to wreak havoc on the battlefield. They have transport tanks, they have artillery tanks, they have firepower tanks, big tanks, small tanks, everything that you could imagine. They have even flyers and super heavy tanks. So what could they actually need? And I thought, what they could need is something that hovers over the air instead of just swooping by. A helicopter of some sort. well, in 40k terms, that would be something with anti-grav turbines or something like that, that could actually hover over the battlefield and rain down heavy fire support and maybe some transport options. But a helicopter would suit the Astra Militarum really well, I think. Next up, Imperial Knights. So for the Imperial Knights, we have the normal knight. Then we have the little bit bigger knight with the castellum, and then we have the smaller knights with the armigers. And you could argue that's for knights enough, but I think there is something missing, and for that, the real knight aspect of the Imperial Knights. And for that, I thought it would be cool to have an Armiger-sized knight that is actually quadrupedal, so quadrupedal with 4 legs, so a centaur basically. And in one hand he has a lance weapon, and in the other hand he has a storm shield kind of thing, like the Cerastus Knight from Forgeworks could have these power shields. That would be really cool. A centaur that is riding, galloping into combat and attacking things with a heavy lance. I think that would be a really cool unit. So, so for Space Marines, you have Space Marines in all different taste options, from Ultramarines in vanilla to lemon flavored with Imperial Fists, or you could have raspberry versions and what have you. But one thing that I really, really like about the Space Marines is that they have human support serfs. So in the how it is called, the Blood Angel Space Marine show recently on their Warhammer Plus, there was a character that I really, really liked, and that was the ship mistress of the battleship from the Space Marines. And this character, this was just a human serving for the Blood Angels, and she was the highest ranking human on board the ship, and she had actual power over what's going on the ship. Of course, she took orders from every Space Marine, but regarding the ship itself, she had the ultimate power. And so I would like to see something along those lines for the Space Marines. So you have the concept of Space Marines being super powerful warriors, and over time they gain experience and battle prowess, and they have psycho indoctrination, and Space Marines are depicted as being tactically genius and so on and so forth. But I think that shouldn't be always the case. I think sometimes a tactical advisor, a simple human as a tactical advisor, would be really cool on the battlefield. He is not a super powerful warrior, but he could be just an add-on, you could say, to a Space Marine character. For example, a Space Marine captain or a lieutenant or something like that, that you could buy for some points, and he's stationed beside the Space Marine lieutenant, and he gives a bonus, for example, a leadership bonus or something like that. He's treated like just maybe some war gear option, but he's just a human besides the Space Marine that gives him tactical advice. He wouldn't dare to give him orders, but he would say, "My lord, the enemy is flanking from there. I would advise that you take your assault squad and flank them from the left side," and so on. That would be really cool, I think. Okay. Next up, Grey Knights. For Grey Knights, I think a cool idea would be a tank that is a psychic beacon. So you have basically like a rhino or something like that. And on top is some sort of a cathedral, and you have maybe 2 Grey Knights on top that are fulfilling some ritual or something like that. And with this tank, your psychic powers for your units will increase. You know, all the Grey Knights are psychers, and to have something like a psychic conduit where they could focus and, well, manifest more powerful psychic energies to defeat the demons. That would be really cool. Okay, next on the list is the Deathwatch. And for Deathwatch, they are lacking one crucial thing. In lore, the Deathwatch deploy Xenos tech. Yes, you have maybe one phasic sword or something like that in the army roster that you can take, but I would really, really love to see Grey Deathwatch Marines with Tau Pulse rifles, or maybe some Necron Gauss weaponry, or Elder Shuriken weaponry, something like that. That would be really awesome, and would give some opportunities for kit bashing and stuff. That would be really cool. Next up, for demons. Now we leave the Imperial forces behind. For demons, I think, well, Nurgle has the Nurglings as their swarm base, and I think the other 3 demon factions could also benefit from a swarm. And, well, I think we have with Khorne, I thought some blood maggots would be cool, some worms that are attracted to blood, and would, well, or blood leeches or something like that, that would attach to you and suck all the blood from you. Then for Tzeentch, I think the lowest form of the pink horrors, they split into blue horrors, and they themselves split into embers, this tiny little flame guys, and I think they would make an excellent swarm for Tzeentch armies. Could you imagine a swarm of maybe 5 to 10 little flame guys? That would be really cool. And for Slaanesh, I think snakes, demonic snakes, that would be cool. Yeah, next up, Chaos Knights. For the Chaos Knights, I think a Beast Knight would be cool. Something that is so demonically possessed and altered that it is no longer recognizable as a knight. So the silhouette would change. It would develop its maybe shooting weapons would transform into claws and tentacles and something like that. And it would hunch over on all fours, and maybe the carapaces burst open and some tentacles or fangs or something like that would emerge. Some giant toothy maw on the top of the thing. Something really horrific, something really demonic, made out of a knight. That would be awesome for the Chaos Knights. Yeah, then for the Chaos Space Marines, I would think demon engine bikes. That would be cool. So where the you have normal Chaos Space Marines that have fused with their bikes and then transformed and melted into the metallic frames and maybe possessed by a demon, and they are half demon, half Space Marine, something along the line. The new Chaos Possessed and the possessed Chaos Cultists, they have some really awesome designs, and if you could merge that with Chaos Space Marine Bikers, that would be awesome. That would be a really, really cool unit. So, these were the Chaos Space Marines. Now the Death Guard. I think for the Death Guard, I would want to have a unit that is a combination of the character model, the Foul Blightspawn, and the Space Marine Aggressors with Flamers. Now, could you imagine a Plague Marine that is so bloated that he is the size of a Terminator, maybe, or an Aggressor, and he has on his back, instead of the normal Space Marine backpack, he has an enormous tank of foul fluids, and he has then giant tentacles or something like that, and he is spraying this bile fuel directly onto his opponents, like Nurgle flamethrowers or bile throwers. I think that would be a really cool unit for the Death Guard. So for the Southern Thuns, I think it would be cool to have a psychic tank. Like, imagine a Space Marine tank, like a Space Marine Rhino, and it is fused with a unit of Space Marine, Chaos Space Marine Southern Thuns, and with a Psyker in it, and then it turned into a demon machine. So it was, well, mixed with a demon and the entire squad, and so this entire thing is now a psychic tank. That would be cool. Could be a really awesome unit. So for World Eaters, it's easy. Give me World Eater bikes. Ta-da! Or World Eaters with jetpacks. For Emperor's Children, give me the army. The entire army, please. Give me an Emperor's Children's army. Thank you. Okay, next, for the Eldar, I couldn't think for anything for the Drukhari or the Harlequins. But for the normal Eldar, I would think a Phoenix Guard unit would be cool. What are Phoenix Guard? Well, let's say it is a unit comprised of the exarchs of all kinds of the aspect warriors from the Eldar. So you have then maybe a 10-man unit, or maybe a 9-man unit that is, the guards of your general, and then you have 9 superpowered aspect warriors in any combination that you would like. And maybe you could even mix and match and take some Drukhari special characters in there, or not special characters, but champion characters, and maybe some Harlequins, and make that a mixed unit that is protecting your leader. So, next, Genestealer Cult, you see I have crossed that out. Well, that would give me demonetization on this video. Instead, I think the Genestealer Cult could use some heavily armored infantry. So, like an equivalent to maybe an Adeptus Sororitas or a Space Marine. So, with a 3+ armor save. Or maybe a 4+ armor save, something like that. What I think is the Genestealer Cult is comprised of all sorts of how would you say that? Building operations. You have minor equipment and stuff like that, but the Genestealer Cult is normally depicted in lore as so they have gone through all the ranks in the entire society of a planet, and so to have only the working force to be the Genestealer Cult is a little bit strange. I think there would be military assets in there, and maybe something from the police, so Adeptus Arbites maybe, and all they have basically all the resources of the planet to their disposal. So I think some elite units with elite equipment could be cool in a Genestealer cult's army. Okay, enough of that. Let's go to the Turnits. For the Turnits, I think they need a transport organism. Something, I think maybe like a snail with a big armored shell that can move over the battlefield and then disperse all the Genestealers or all the Gons that are in there and spew them onto the opponent. Right now they only have their drop pod variant and an organism that can generate some termagants, but they don't have really a transport option. So, next up on the list, Necrons. For the Necrons, I wish they had a Canoptic HQ unit. Right now, there is no option to make an entire Canoptic army with no Necrons whatsoever. The only option that you have would be to have Canoptic units and then maybe a Cryptek as your HQ unit. But I think a Canoptic HQ unit would be cool to have a representation of the defense of your crypt world before the Necrons awake. So you have your Tomb Spiders or your Canoptic Spiders and the Tomb Stalkers and the Canoptic Wraith and something like that. And then you could have a Canoptic control unit, maybe something along the line between a Tomb Spider and maybe something smaller. So this unit mustn't be big. It's just a unit that is there and it is controlling the other Canoptic units. I think that would be cool. What the combat capabilities are, it's debatable. So, off to the stretch for the last three entries. There was the page to an end. So, next up are the Orcs. For the Orcs, I looked at the roster, what they have. They have almost anything. They have tanks, they have infantry, they have heavy infantry, they have artillery, they have bombers, and what else. But what they don't have are snipers. Well, they have their Blood Axe commandos that can be sneaky behind the line, but I think the Blood Axes could also deploy snipers. But, well, the snipers would be orky, so the sniper weapon wouldn't be silent. Of course, they would make huge noise and they could only fire maybe once before they are detected, but a sniper unit would be really cool for the Orcs, I think. Next up are the Tau. And for the Tau, I wish they had a heavy weapons team with drones. So what I mean by that is they have they have this marker light units, and they give bonuses to all the other units, and they have stealth suits and Tau battle suits, and they have huge suits, and they have their drones that they can remote control and stuff like that. But the drones themselves are they're meh in my opinion. In my opinion, what they need would be drones with heavy weapons, and so you could have maybe a normal drone is this size, and then the heavy weapon drone could be maybe this size. A really, really hefty drone with some really big, powerful weapons under there. Some really fat pulse rifles or sniper rifles or what have you. Or plasma rifles. And, well, and then you have the drone operators, of course. That would be a cool unit, I think. Yeah, and the last entry is the Leagues of Votan, and I looked at the roster, and they are a non-army right now. They have a core unit, they have a close combat unit, a heavy weapons team, or heavy armor team, and some character models and 2 vehicles. That is basically not really an army. They could use some more before they are really an army that is, well, good on the battlefield. Right now they don't have much, and so I think what they need are mech suits. Like, for example, the dreadnoughts from the Space Marines. They have the Invictor warsuit, and well, the Leagues of Wotan could use something like that. A piloted mech suit, a big dreadnought-sized mech. I think that would fit the Leagues of Wotan really cool. Of course, with some advanced weaponry. Yeah, those are my entries for all the units that I wish would exist in Warhammer 40k. I hope you like this little interview into my brain and how it works and tickles. Maybe you could write something down. What do you think these armies need? What are your wishes? Please tell me down there in the comments, and don't forget to hit the like button. It is only 1 click and it helps me a lot. Thank you for watching, and we see us in the next video. You Alexandra. Bye!